That's the journey.
And in that journey, one of the ways, when I was talking to you, you said, is to lead by example. Because you're quite happy just washing the cars yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you espouse that culture in people like Ali, for example, and your other general managers that, pick up the cloth, get the sponge, start washing?
One lesson to all my general managers: never ask somebody to do a job you can't do. And prove it to that person that you can do it better. I do not know whether you, but there was a story in the old days. There was a guy who came into our showroom. We used to wash cars and deliver it to a customer if that was the thing that was to be done. In the old workshop in Rashidia, I was cleaning a car because there was a lady, I remember there was a lady and she was such a fussy customer. It was unbelievable. So we had to get the car done to give it to her. We had given her a particular time. At that time, the washing machine broke. Whatever could go wrong went wrong. Somebody else was passing by, and then, a few days later, he asked somebody, he said, I met this guy, he works now. What does he do in Al Namuda? So they told him he's the chief executive of the company. He said, what? He was washing cars yesterday. But because of that, all my managers got into the same work ethos. They worked along with me. We have worked nights, we have worked days. Okay, today I'm fortunate, I don't have to do it. These young people do it for me.
But you earned that position by
I
building that example.
18 hours a day. I lived opposite, my house was opposite. I never even used a car, I used to walk across.
Right.
And my wife would call me at 8:30, 9 in the night saying, hello, there's a house across the road, you've got to come back.
And she was regretting the encouragement she gave you to join the job.
And we don't need to do it now, thank God.
Right.
But those were the days you had to do it, and we did it. And it's a matter of pride when you build something and you walk in and see it in front of you for the first time.
Right. Now, in every business, let's just build a context to the business. How many cars are sold in the luxury segment? BMW, Audi, yours and Mercedes.
I would tell you,
and stuff.
in the
what
luxury
market share do you have? Because we're celebrating how much you've done, but if it's only 5%, who cares?
No. It's a very in terms of market share, because the Japanese are there, my giants.
No, I'm talking about the luxury cars.
With our three brands, we would control about 35-40% of the market.
Okay.
I'm larger than BMW and Mercedes put together.
Wow. Okay. How do you do that? Because they're great cars. They're both German.
They're all good cars.
So the differentiating factor is very little, and a lot of them, like the Mercedes, for example,
let me give you an interesting
has
statistic.
A legacy.
70% of my customers are repeat customers.
So that's your secret?
That's my secret. They come back and buy a car from me, the second car, the third car, the fourth car. They might move from one of my brands to another. They might buy, an Audi guy might move into a Porsche, or a Volkswagen guy might move into an Audi. But they will stick to Al Nabuda.
What's that secret sauce in terms of loyalty?
Give the customer what he wants. Look after him.
Okay, but that's not so secret. Everybody can do that.
No, but you're going to do it well. Everybody can say I'm doing it, but you've got to do it well.
So what sort of training programs do you have?
We have huge training programs, and I think they'll agree with me that if we ever lose a sale, I still lose my temper.
Okay. Because you care. Because
when a customer leaves your showroom and he goes without buying a car, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because he has walked into a competitor's showroom and it's gone. It doesn't work. Sometimes it's price sensitive. Okay, you can do that much in the luxury segment.
So the secret, again, and I'm really conscious about this because we work in a lot of very competitive businesses, whether it's hotels or cars or luxury products and so on. That little differentiator, is it service? Is it people? Is it...
Combination. People giving good service is very important. Have you noticed that in Dubai, the standard of service is really third rate in most places?
Sadly, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is what I tell my staff. When a guy walks into the showroom, make him feel different. Let him not feel, oh, this is again the Dubai service. Okay, he'll say, I'll call tomorrow, and he won't call. That doesn't work.
Now, every company has a tipping point. At what stage of 50 cars a month to 100 cars a month to 1,000 cars a month, at what stage did you feel you went over that inflection point so that you can then really, really grow? Because building scale is a very tough task. What were the things you were looking at?
No, we needed to build infrastructure first.
Right.
You know. Out of that small shed in Rashidia, if we wanted to go into 7,000, 5,000 cars, it was not going to work. Out of that small showroom in Garud, it was not going to work. So now you were left with a dilemma. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you put in money and wait for your returns? Or you turn around and say, let me try to put the cars on the road and generate some money too. But we bit the bullet. I spoke to Khalifa. We built the huge showroom of Volkswagen on Sheikh Zayed Road, and we built the Volkswagen Service Center. That was the turning point of the company, because then we had the infrastructure to deliver what the customer wanted.
I think what we'll do is engage some questions from the audience about the time at Al Nabuda in Audi, because then we can move to the next stage of his life and move to his family and the future. So at this sort of halfway point, can we engage some questions, please? Do we want to ask, does anyone want to ask a question to Mr. Rajaram?
Thank you very much.
Your name and...
My name's Simon. It's a pleasure and really enjoying the evening. There's
Thank
no shortcut to success. I just wondered how you managed your frustrations. Thank you. Through those difficult times.
I have a wall which is fairly beaten with my head. How do you manage frustrations? I think I have a wife and son there who have also taken a good brunt of it. Sometimes you got to let go. The people around me will tell you that you reach a flash point when you really get angry. But as long as you take it out of the people around you, but you're fair at every time, people forgive you for it. But you have to flash. And let me be honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I'm calm and collected. I'm not. I really fly off the handle when things go wrong.
Next question.
Ask you for what is your vision, what drives you, and where do you see yourself and your group 5 years from now, and how do you plan to achieve it?
Okay, there's a very simple answer. I told Khalifa, we were sitting down one day, he said, where will we go from now? We are the world's largest Porsche dealer. We control 40% of Audi Volkswagen sales in the region. We have the world's largest Audi showroom. Where do we go from now? I told him, now we build a legacy. You and I don't need the money anymore. But we now leave behind a stamp and say that, hey, these guys, the Nabuda family and Rajaram, did something for the automobile industry which changed it. Where do I see my company 5 years from today? I see my company growing in size, of course, which is a normal corollary of where we are going now. But more often than not, we want to be known as a company that cares. A company that cares for its people who works for it, and a company which gives back to its community. That is our vision for the future.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Anirudh Dastidar, my name. I'm also from the automotive industry.
Oh, okay.
And first time I heard of you, I'm an ex-South Bhavan
okay.
group.
So you know me from my Oman days.
Yes,
okay.
But by the time I reached Oman and started working for South Bhavan, you were already packing your bags in Oman and you were in Dubai.
Ah, okay.
But Rajaram, even in Oman, was a big name.
Your question,
Thank you.
sir?
I remember. So what do you see, before the recession, automotive industry in general, I'm not talking about any particular brand, all brands in general had achieved huge numbers, which I feel still we have not able to come back to where we were before the recession, before the global meltdown started. So what do you see the future, especially this particular region, Middle East? or me?
I don't know what brand you represent, but I must correct you, and at the cost of sounding arrogant, we had a very small dip in the recession for our brands. And today, we outsell what we did before the recession.
That's fantastic.
So, I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question, but I did hear that my Japanese friends are suffering from that problem of not getting to those numbers. But I think there are far more richer people in Dubai now than there were before. I see no other reason, because I sell premium brands. And you know the old adage, the rich get richer. You got to give the customer a unique experience. And you have been to my Audi showroom.
Absolutely.
It's something totally different.
Yeah.
And when a guy is walking in to spend 200 to 300,000 dirhams of his money, he doesn't want to be treated like he's come to buy a bicycle.
One of the things you said to me when I earlier spoke to you, that the best way to talk about, to market your product is your car on the road.
On the road.
And is that philosophy shared by other luxury car holders? Because to me, that's not a luxury strategy. That's much, much more a general consumer strategy.
There are many ways of putting the cars on the road. Okay. But let me tell you, in the automobile business, the money is at the back end, in the service and the repair of the car.
Yes.
You sell a car once, but he's your customer for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. You look after him in this 5-year period, he comes back to you again and again to buy from you.
Yeah.
So it's a very short-sighted chief executive who will say, I don't care what it is, but let me make a killing now, and in that process maybe even lose the customer.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like to do that.
So
And when we started off, I'll tell you, we sold cars at zero margin because we just wanted them on the road.
right, and you made money on the service coming.
We
through.
made money on the, okay, it comes 2
and
years
build
later.
the brand and positioning.
Let me give you another statistic. Out of every 100 cars you put on the road, 20 goes into the body shop in a 2-year period.
That's bad driving. Okay. Now, let me just visualize something which is a little bit different, and that is that let's project ourselves 10, 20 years forward. Cars are not green, and you're really pumping it out there with all these gas guzzling machines, so you're very, very carbon unfriendly.
Yeah.
How well do you sleep at nights that you're killing this planet?
I'll be dead and gone by then, but let me answer your question.
Yeah.
All my brands have hybrids available.
Right.
We are trying to promote the car, but let me tell you something. There's also a lot of hoopla about this hybrid thing. Do you know how much it costs to generate a kilowatt of electricity? Hybrid, everybody talks about hybrid and it is the savior of the future. The Americans calculated that if there was a street full of completely electrical cars, the power consumption would far outweigh the carbon menace.
Interesting. I've never heard that one, but very interesting.
So people are now rethinking it. They're saying, where are we headed with this hybrid thing? Okay, hybrid technology will come. It's good technology. They've experimented with hydrogen vehicles. They've experimented with various types of technology. But I don't think we have hit the ultimate answer yet.
Let me throw another challenge at you, and I think a lot of people will be surprised at what I'm about to come up with. I read a very interesting article about a month ago where your future competitor in 10 years' time is unlikely to be Mercedes or BMW. It's much, much more likely to be Google. Google with their driverless cars is actually there's an expectation that in 10 years' time, Google will make more money on driverless cars than they will make on search. Very interesting statistic.
Yeah, but Google's driverless car is a Volkswagen. Hello.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, so the whole service concept will change. And I'm getting to the point that the paradigms change, business models change.
And you have to change with times.
Yeah.
If you see the shift coming,
yeah.
What is the difference between a good chief executive and a bad chief executive? Somebody who can see the future coming at him. We knew a very long time ago that we needed to up our top of the range cars because this is where the market was headed. We concentrated on it. That is why we have such a huge Q7 A8 segment in the Audi today.
Right.
In the old days, we concentrated on the A4 and the A6 because we thought that was the most sellable car.
Right. Good. Any more questions before we get on to the next level?
Thank you very much. My name is Georgina Kelly. The question I have is, do you have a profile of the kind of people that actually buy your luxury end cars? Do you work on a profile base, or how do you do it?
We do. We record every customer who comes into our showroom, whether he purchases a car or not. We have a computer system which is called e-good manners. The entire details of the customer are fed into the computer until the salesman has to record, I have lost the sale, or he has to say, I have sold the car. And when this is done, the computer has got a complete profile of his nationality, where he comes from, is he a first-time buyer, has he purchased cars before, and or based on that, I'll give you an interesting statistic. Quite a few of our customers we are now finding are first-time buyers in Dubai. These are the new people who are coming in. Because like I told you, our core was our repeat customers. And now we are finding more and more new customers, and these are first-time buyers in Dubai. So that is where the market base is growing.
For the young, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. For the young entrepreneurs here, what is your advice? And there are a lot of SMEs, people who are aspiring to the kinds of things that you're doing. You did it in a corporate entrepreneurial environment. They might be doing it in their own environment. What is that secret from your wisdom and from your learning that what you'd like to share? What do they need to do to make it happen for them?
Hard work, and I must say there is also an element of luck involved, ladies and gentlemen, because unless there's a hand of God or whatever they say over your head, you need a modicum and an element of that, because you can be extremely hardworking, you could be intelligent, but if you're plain unlucky, it's not going to work for you. I have been fortunate, and I've been fortunate that I've been surrounded by good people, and I'm fortunate that I'm surrounded by a good team. And I'm also very fortunate I came to Dubai in the year I did, because that is exactly when Dubai started taking off. So being at the right place at the right time.
So you make your own luck. My father gave me this advice once. He said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So because that's one of the things that I have worked on.
And
because when people ask me, how do you make luck? And we give technical answers like it's a cross between opportunity and preparation and all of those kinds of things. But it's hard work.
Hard work.
Great. All right, sir. Let's moving on to the next level, next stage of Raj's life. On a more human side, sir. What were the low moments in your life? Because I know you had a tragedy earlier on in your life. And how did that affect you? Would you like to share that with us, sir, please?
My first wife, my son's natural mother, died when he was, I think, 8 or 10 years old. And it shook all of us, because my wife was a very young lady, at that time. And I was left alone with my son. And you know how the environment is in the Middle East. You're surrounded by nannies and servants. I was a spoiled brat myself. And here was a young man growing up to even, defy his father. And I think one of the worst decisions I had to take at that time was if I had to put him or give him a sense of purpose in life and change the way he was being brought up, because his entire life being consisted of being looked after by cooks and nannies and drivers who were just doing his bidding. There was nobody disciplining him. I was away at work